Hey YouTube, welcome back to my series of history of slash behind the meta, where I look at Pokemon throughout the history of GBL to look at like some were strong, now they're not strong, some weren't strong, now they are. So what constitutes like a good Pokemon? What constitutes why they were good and maybe not good anymore? So today I'm looking at Mew, and Mew's a really interesting case because Mew was in the early seasons of GBL one of the best safe swaps in the meta, um, and now it's one of those like you couldn't pay me to use it sort of. Not that that's true, but like it's just not great. 136 ranking in the Open Great League here. So we're gonna go over why that is. Looking at some stuff. So like always, we're gonna look at stat product, move sets, and and typing. So I laughed because of the move typings. There's a lot of them. So in terms of stat product, it's one of those balanced Pokemon that doesn't have enough of one thing to dominate, right? So it's 120 attack, 119 defense, 129 stamina for 1855 overall. So it's one of those things where it's like, it's got an okay attack, it's got like an okay defense, it's got an okay stamina, but it's not good in any of those things, right? So it's the 120 attack is actually not too bad. Where the issue is, I'll go into the issues in a second with the moves. The 120 is not bad for attack, and then 119, 129 gives you the ability to take some charge moves, but not much, right? So like, you're nowhere close to, let's say, like your lanterns and stuff like that, right? Where they have these super high 194 stamina, 2100 overall, right? So there's a big difference between what Mew can take and some of those like bulkier Pokemon. So it's always been sort of like, okay, it's been like, okay, this can do some chip. Okay, this could take like one move and stuff like that. But it's never been like, I'm going to use this as like a dominant Pokemon, like Lickitung to beat everything. So it's never been like that. But it was a really good safe swap. Move sets. I think there's actually two reasons. There's one very, very, very big one, and then there's one that I think is definitely on people's minds, the way that the charged TMs are going. So the first, depending how you want to look at it, strength or weakness, it has like almost everything. Not quite, but a lot. Like a lot of fast moves, a lot of charge moves. And in these things, you have some really nice moveset even without same type attack bonus, but that is an issue and we'll go over that in a second. So the main move you use is Shadow Claw, right? Shadow Claw and Counter are two of the best fast moves in the game for your damage and energy sort of combo there. So you always use Shadow Claw. You used the first two here are listed for a reason. You always use Wild Charge because again, it is sort of a nuke. 45 energy, 100 damage, 2.22, right? That's a good amount of damage for the damage per energy for that energy generation. And then you had Surf, which was the primary coverage move, bait, just sort of quick, but you can run a bunch of other things, like there's Dragon Claw in here for the bait move. If you want to nuke some stuff, there's Focus Blast. There's like some nukes and Stone Edge, there's some ground coverage and Bulldoze. If you want some stab moves like Psychic, like there's a lot on here that it can use. So there's two issues with these movesets. The first one, as you notice, is very, very, very few get same type attack bonus. So same type attack bonus, stab, as it's often called, gives you a sort of a bonus in the damage department. So when we look at a psychic, just a pure psychic typing, right, that you are here, when you go to Shadow Claw, you get the 3 damage per turn and the 4 energy per turn. So when you go to something like Sableye, which basically made this irrelevant, you're now getting 3.6, right? Because you get that 20% bonus. So like if you want a Claw user, there's no real reason to use Mew. Oops. What is happening here? Because if you go to Shadow Claw, you have Feraligatr using a non-stab, but you also have Hydro Cannon, which is a stab best charge move in the game. And then you have like Trevenant, Giratina, Sableye, they all get stab on it, right? Cofagrigus, they all get that extra like 20% bonus there. So just from that perspective, Mew took a little bit of hit. And it's the same thing with the charge moves. Surf, Wild Charge, again, Wild Charge 2.22 damage per energy for 100 is good. Surf, okay, 1.63. But again, when you don't get that 20% damage that you get like on a electric Pokemon or a water Pokemon. It really does make a difference. So you combine with your like already okay attack with non-stab moves here, it really kind of limits the oomph that you can do. The second thing they just alluded to is charge TMs. So as you see, there's what is it, 2, 4, 6, like I'm gonna estimate like 13 fast moves and about 20, like, I don't know, 24 charge moves, something like that. Not exactly. That's just kind of eyeballing it. This game is so stupid. In pretty much every other game, you get like the TMs that are specific moves. Now, in this game, they just have fast TMs and charge TMs, but there's nothing stopping you from making it so that a charge TM, you can pick the moves, right? Kind of like in the elite TMs. In the elite TMs, you pick the move that you want to get rid of and you pick the move that you want to add on. They can do that for charge TMs and just don't give them the legacy move options. So they don't do that, which is stupid. And charge TMs have become kind of tough to get, especially when you need to recycle. And I have with like, just look at Quagsire, because Quagsire take out the legacy move in Aquatail, but it has Mud Bomb, Stone Edge, Sludge Bomb, Earthquake, Acid Spray. So 5 moves. I have, let's say I already have Stone Edge on one, so there's like just 4 Mud Bomb, Sludge Bomb, Earthquake, Acid Spray that you can potentially get for your second move. I've rerolled like 15 charge TMs to get like a Mud Bomb on that I want, because it would just go like Sludge Bomb, Earthquake, Sludge Bomb, Earthquake, Sludge Bomb, Acid Spray, Earthquake, Acid Spray, Sludge Bomb. It just like repeat them, like just give me the Mud Bomb. It's a stupid mechanic of the game. I don't know why they just don't give you the option to choose the one you want. Maybe because they want you to grind TMs there. But when you have Mew that has 24 charge moves, it's impossible. It's impossible to use. If I'm having to reroll 15 times on a 4-turn Pokemon, how many times am I going to have to reroll on a 24 Pokemon? I'm not going to waste 100 TMs trying to get the moves I want. So sometimes when I've used Mew, I have actually used it just with like whatever moveset. Like I always have Wild Charge, sometimes Surf, sometimes Dragon Claw. And I just like, oh yeah, I have Dragon Claw on it now. Oh well, I'll just use it because I'm not re-rolling 20 times. So I think that, so you got like whatever stat product, the issues with the moves not being stab, and then the issues with the re-rolling of charge moves. And then you get your typing. Typing is what is it is. I don't think it's just pure Psychic is a big issue. Weak to Bug, Dark, and Ghost. There's an okay amount of Dark and Ghost in this meta, but not anything that's like super crazy. And again, if you are weak to Ghost, you have Shadow Claw and Theraghost, you'll do, unless it's like a Sableye, which is half dark, you'll do still just like super effective with your Shadow Claw to them. Again, non-stab versus stab is a difference. And then resist, again, Psychic is whatever, there's like no Psychic moves out there. And then fighting, nothing bad resisting fighting. So in the early seasons of GBL, this thing was, okay, so you see a 6-6 record here, 497 average, which was like just decent. And it benefited from a few things. You had a couple Pokemon here that you just, again, there was no XLs back in the day, right? So there's a couple Pokemon here. There's two things. One is there's a couple things here that are weak to Ghost. Hypno as a Psychic, Cresselia as a Psychic, Marowak as a Ghost. And there were not a lot of Ghosts back in the day. Like Mew is one of the only ones with Shadow Claw back in the day. Sorry, as you can tell, I'm sick for the 100th time. There wasn't a lot of Ghosts back in the day, so if you wanted a Ghost type moves, Mew is it, right? There was no, if you go and search Ghost here, Ghost Pokemon, again, it's not a Ghost, it's not a Ghost Pokemon, but you're using the Shadow Claw. Annihilate wasn't a thing. Jellicent, Trevenant, Giratina, Sableye, Runerigus, Skeledirge, Cofagrigus, Frostlass. Sableye came in somewhat early. Marowak was there. And that's it. There was no, and then Gengar and Haunter were just way too glassy. There was not a lot of Ghost Pokemon. So if you wanted a Ghost type move, Mew with the Shadow Claw was a strong option. And again, you have a nuke. Again, Wild Charge is non-stab, but it still does 100 damage. And with the fast charging of Shadow Claw to get to what is a relatively quick Wild Charge, you can just go a lot of times Shadow Claw, double nuke Wild Charge, and then you would grab a shield or flip switch there. So it was a really, really strong safe swap. Even in the bad matchups, you could kind of hit almost anything for at least some of the grass were tough because Surf, Wild Charge are both resisted, but you can still claw. So it was a really, really good safe swap. So what has happened? Two things have happened. Here's the open record, 1823, 476. Again, the XL Pokemon make a significant difference when you have a non-stab charge move Pokemon like this. So where's the Lickitung matchup here? I mean, Lickitung, first of all, there's stuff like Lickitung that just resist the claws. So that's one thing. But I want to just show you like how little... Oh man, they're killing you here. Let me go Zero Shield, and let me just go Wild Charge here. Like, this is what I'm talking about. You have back-to-back Wild Charges here that are only doing 62 damage. And why is it doing 62 damage? Because your moves are not just the stat product here, right? So Mew, you go here, you're like, why? Wild Charge should do 100 damage. Why isn't it doing 100 damage? Well, because it takes in consideration your attack stat. It takes in consideration, like, there's a whole formula on it. So yeah, back-to-back Wild Charges are only doing 34% to a Lickitung. So you're not even doing 70% damage with 2 Wild Charges. So too many bulky Pokemon came in where they just very, very easily beat can live your Wild Charges. And the second thing is, why would I use a non-stab Shadow Claw when there's so many good Shadow Claw users, right? There was Sableye. Trevenant's kind of probably gone down a bit here. But like Sableye, Trevenant's probably got oh no. So you got like a similar record. Again, I bet you this changes if you, can you do that here with the, no, you can't do that with the move. If you up like a Shadow Claw or something, that you're probably going to flip way more matchups with Sableye, and you have a way better record with Trevenant. So again, there's just too many Pokemon that now fit the role of Mew better. I would rather have a stab Pokemon like Sableye, Trevenant, where they can throw stab Foul Plays, stab Shadow Claws, stab Shadow Balls, as opposed to a non-stab Shadow Claw, Wild Charge, Surf, and a Pokemon that is now has to see a little more. Again, its weaknesses is Dark and Ghost. Yes, they're Armor Dark and Ghost now, right? I already kind of went over the Ghost, how many Ghosts there are. In terms of Dark, like Mandibuzz, Guzzlord, Zweilous, Scrafty, Umbreon was always there, Greninja, Obstagoon. Like, these are new Pokemon that were not around back in the day. So you have a lot more. Same thing, normal types. Normal type Pokemon which resist the Claw, which is one of the things, do that. Like, obviously Lickitung, everyone has Lickitung now. And there's other Pokemon like Wiggly and Greedent and stuff like that. It's just a lot of Pokemon that just weren't around in the past. So Mew has come and gone. I don't think there's a reason to use it. Like I said, the only reason you would use it is if like it's like a limited meta with like your other Shadow Claw users banned, that you could like get in there with that you have like a good limited meta that Shadow Claw is good and maybe your charge moves are good. But again, the issues of like the non-stat plus having to try and find the moves that you want on this Pokemon are, I think, is too much to use. You still see them once in a while, but there's just so many answers to it now. It's not that I'm ever super worried when I see it. It can get spammy. It can get spammy with Shadow Claw Surf. But again, non-stab moves on a super non-attack heavy sort of like 1800 overall stat product Pokemon is not anything you truly need to fear. So that is it. That is the current state of Mew in the meta. So you see it in limited cups, but that's about all you see it. I can feel another cough attack coming on, so I'm going to end it right there. I'll probably just do a bunch of these this week because I will not have teams for catch cups. So if you have teams, link in the description if you want to send it to me. Otherwise, prepare for a lot of these this week. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.